Yo, what up? Welcome. It's RTG, and we're here for another episode. And today I got something spicy for you. Um, I've been thinking about the problem with the black family. If it really is a problem, I've been looking up statistics, trying to figure out what's going on. If because I like just being on Twitter, you see people complaining about the modern dating situations that are going on, and I'm married, so I'm far removed from all of that. So, but what I see is women basically saying the men need to make more money, and I see the men saying the women need to be more feminine and need to be more welcoming and have more realistic expectations, I guess. So I came across a video of Killer Mike talking about what he thinks the solutions to fixing the black family are. Because if we look at a lot of the inner cities, the situations going on in there, there's a lot of black men killing each other senselessly. So if we could get them involved in something right off the bat, like in school, in high school, like a trade or something where they can make money, then they would be less inclined to join a gang or go a route that's not conducive to their part of society. So, but also within this video, there are people who don't. I don't know if they don't like Killer Mike, because I've been reading the comments, and some of them, that's how they ring to me, and then some of them are like, okay, there's a little substance there, but it seemed a little bitter, like they got something against Killer Mike. So, without further ado, let's get into this.
Pregnant as a teenager, young man and woman get pregnant, this is the 2-year plan. First 2 years are debt-free. You don't have to pay the government anything back. So she doesn't get to drag him into court and the court doesn't say, you owe us money for investing in your child through food programs, through early Head Start programs. Because in those 2 years, the boy has the option, or not an option, he has a demand of the co-man to then go to a trade school. You have to go to a trade school, which incentivize the United States to do it, because we need more tradespeople. We don't have enough carpenters, we don't have enough electricians, we don't have enough people building roads.
So far, I like it.
In my community, the girls are going to college and graduating. They have no men to marry because the boys are not going to college in the same way. My teachers were married to a tradesman. My teacher, who we call doctor, her husband owns a locksmith company. Her husband was a carpenter, was a mechanic. So they had a good life. Their kids went to school, right, the same schools we went to. I think that the incentive to solving the child support problem and a part of solving our infrastructure problem is to incentivize young boys who have gotten a girl pregnant. You must now go through 2 years of trade school.
But wait a minute. So, okay, I like what
So
you
let me give you the rest of the answer first.
Okay, go ahead.
After that boy graduates, you get a further incentive if you and the girl marry. If you and the girl marry, we'll give you these incentives: zero finance home loans, something out of HUD besides an apartment with a leaky faucet,
like
rats and roaches in it. But incentivize marriage, which then strengthens our community, the black community, and strengthens the greater community, because now you have more American marriages, you have people with stronger financial stability, and you have tradespeople married to women of education, and you begin to recreate communities like what Auburn Avenue was, what Edgewood was. I believe you can do this from the executive order, because the money that funnels down from the feds through the states to help mothers, then it can be attached. Well, we're not only helping mothers, we're helping fathers too. If a boy gets a woman pregnant, not only does she receive TANF, I see your face, right? Good idea. If a woman receives TANF, she receives this, the boy now has a must. You're federally required now to go to trade school. And in those 2 years, what you put out on the other side is a person who's trained, a person who has an incentive to marry, and a person who becomes a taxpayer and not just a taker of tax.
I like it. I like what he's saying. I like what he's saying, but there's people online who have different takes. Okay, this lady, she says, this Killer Mike clip has me wondering what the F do people be telling their sons? What the F do people be telling their sons to be mediocre and don't take accountability? Most daughters I know were never taught to be mediocre but strive for excellence at every turn. What do y'all be telling boys? First of all, I think that what we want is to incentivize marriage, like he said in the video. You want to incentivize marriage, and what's happening now is actually, in my opinion, let me come back to me. What's happening now, in my opinion, is actually the opposite of that, because when women go to college, when black women go to college, I don't think that they're not going to find a husband. They're going to gain education and gain more money to pay for a lifestyle, really, But if a guy goes to college, he's going to college because he wants to. Well, this is not everybody. This is, there's certain percentages of people, okay? But I think a large percentage of guys go to college so they can make more money to take care of a family. You know what I mean? So they'll have more ability to raise a family, which, it is what it is. But this is how the culture is kind of shaping people. And I think that through the damage done by welfare to the black family, to women wanting to actually become one with a man and not just take government assistance. And I feel like there's some women who probably needed it. They actually did make a baby with a deadbeat guy, and the guy left or whatever, and he was acting straight at first, but they took advantage of the welfare, and that kind of, over time, it destroyed the black family. If we come over here, that until the 1970s, black women and white women actually, the statistics were opposite. Black women were more likely to get married than white women, but around the 1960s, 1970s is when, the whole welfare kind of got implemented, and it kind of took the legs out from under the black family, because there was higher crime rates within the men. The men were going to jail, and the women were, trying to work with what they had to work with, which was thug dudes, who are just going around. It's usually a smaller percentage of the population that's mating with a lot of women and having babies out of wedlock, But not this lady. This lady, I think that in the people in this comment section who all agree with her, I think that I don't know. I feel like some of them may have a bone to pick with him. Some of them are have an agenda, because right now we're in the midst of an election time, and I guess he backed someone who they don't jive with. They're going against, Brian Kemp over Stacey Abrams, I guess. So they're mad about that. But I have not done any research on that, so I don't want to comment on that yet. So, but my whole thing is, and it has been my thing for years. Even before I saw this clip, I always would talk to my friends and my wife and anybody who would listen, and I would talk about how, in a way, welfare incentivized the destruction of the black family. So if we have programs that did the opposite, if you incentivize people to get married and it was benefits, we're trying to incentivize black people to get married. So and this could be not even through the government. This could be just a group of rich black people who get together and say, hey, we want more married black people, so we're going to open up a bank or something that incentivize. We give cheaper loan homes to black couples that are trying to get married, and we'll also pay for education or whatever for black people who are trying to get married. Just stuff like that. Have programs that do the opposite of what those welfare programs did. And I don't understand how you could. I saw one post from a lady that said that, okay, so what if the guy just keeps getting girls pregnant? And I'm like, that is a very valid thing to say, because it could, like I said before, there's a large percentage of the out of wedlock pregnancies that come from like a small percentage of guys. It's like it's actually in the community. It'll be like 10% of the guys are making 90% of the the babies out of wedlock. So I do think that it's a cultural change has to happen. A cultural shift has to happen for marriage to be able to flourish, and I don't see that happening. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's only gonna get worse, honestly. But I want to fight against it, and I want to, and that's what I'm on YouTube trying to do. I just want to be here to advocate for marriage and be like, you can't do it on your own. You need help. Help. You can't raise kids and go to work at the same time. So you're gonna need a team of people to help out. So I think that's been lost, and people like Killer Mike, even though he said some things that I don't agree with before, most of the things I hear him say, I agree with him, and I think that the solution to all the gang violence, the solution to all the poverty, the solution to all the things that ail the black people is family, is men and women getting married and staying together and raising children. Because I could pull up 1,000 articles that say that once a person is born to a single mother, you're most likely gonna fall into the negative statistics, because she can only do so much. You got to go to work, and you're gonna be at home, and you're gonna leave. So the streets are gonna kind of raise you. Even with a 2-parent family, the streets still kind of raise you. But it's better when you have 2 parents, because they can take the time to talk to you and try to teach you and love you, and you get to witness what love looks like. You get to witness what 2 people working things out when they don't always agree looks like. So I like Killer Mike. I like a lot of the things he says. I don't understand why people on Twitter would have this reaction, but people on Twitter always have a negative reaction to everything, basically, it seems like. So this is my video for today. This is RTG. My name is KO. It's my 2 cents. KO's 2 cents. Thanks for tuning in.